So, hello everybody. Can you hear me clearly? Can you hear the music? Wait, is there music playing? No, there isn't. Can you hear the music? Can you see everything all clear? No issues? Let me know, please. Apologies about the tree and all of that. This is waiting for everyone. There are like 10 people watching right now, as compared to the 30 or how many ever yesterday. So I was just wondering. Anyhow, let's get started with kitchen, shall we? To begin with, let's find ourselves a decent let's say a plan, right? Let's say 2 BHK apartment plan. Enter. Wow, thanks. I'm just choosing a random one, or literally the first one, really. Alright, so okay, this is a crap design, but we'll go through why it's a crap design in a second. For now, we have the kitchen here. We have ventilation on one side, and well, counters and things like that. We will imagine that the counters don't exist, so we are just dealing with the actually, should we find a better house? Really, that was really bad. Crap kitchen. Hmm, interesting-ish. Doesn't give us too many options. I'll explain what I'm looking for in these plans in a second. Mm, okay, cool. We'll use this, but there are no dimensions. Damn it. Okay. This. You'll start to realize that apartment design isn't wonderfully well done, unfortunately. There are insane number of constraints on that, so it's not like it's easy. Actually, let's just look for a kitchen plan. No, let's actually find something here then. actually, let's be a little luxurious. We'll say that this wall is closed, so there's no toilet here, and we'll assume that this is our kitchen, right? So you have a window on one side. It is about 12 feet 8 inches and 10 feet 4 inches. So with this particular plan, let's try working this out, right? So I have a few extra things that we can do here, like draw. So let's draw this plan out. Is it focused? Focus it slightly, sorry. As always, this is a learning experience. It's not like I've done this before, except for yesterday, of course. All right, so our kitchen dimensions. Let's draw this out. We have approximately 12 feet 6 inches. So what is 12 feet? No, 12 feet 8 inches. What is 12 feet 8 inches in mm, and what is 10 feet 4 inches in mm? Someone please find out. I'll draw this in the meanwhile. Anyone? Three 760 mm by bye. What is that? 10 feet 4 inches. Okay, while Uzair tries finding that out, the whole point of a kitchen are the counters, right? It is about how these things function. You have a working counter and you have storage that you need for this. But before all of that, let's list this in the chat. What are the different things that we need in a kitchen? What are the different appliances? What are the different whatever, all the stuff that you have to put into a kitchen? Let's start listing that out. And this one is 3146. Okay, 3150. Let's say 3150. Easy calculation. 3860. You people really need to decide. Okay, I'm going to correct it in a second if it so exists. But yeah, let's start listing out all the things that that have to be in a kitchen, please. Let's see what you people can come up with. Until then, I shall hatch. For now, I've taken off the window itself. We'll figure out where to put it and stuff like that later. Or if you should just leave it in place. But that's a decision for another time. So yeah, we have a sink, of course. We have things like the microwave oven, chimney, breakfast table, shelves. Actually, I'm going to write that down on the side here. Wow. By the way, I'm drawing this really, really small and trying to figure out how this works. But okay. So yeah, here we are. So we have the sink, the microwave. Can you see all this? Yeah. The chimney, the breakfast table. Okay, we'll ignore breakfast table for now, but remember that. Shelves, the hob, the counter sink, refrigerator, let's call it fridge, then garbage disposal, then stove cabinets, cabinets, what is cabinets? Cabinets. Cool. What else? What else? What else? Alright, so as we're thinking about, as you're discussing all of these things, I'd like for you people to also start thinking about all the different sizes that these things are available in. So start finding those things out. But for now, what are the other things that have to go into a kitchen? There are lots of appliances that are used in a kitchen. A water purifier, yes. What else? Go on quickly. Drawers. Okay, we'll assume, okay, we'll say cabinets plus drawers. Dishwasher, yes. In case you people are wondering how come what's this on when you're watching this on YouTube later or something, uh, the YouTube chat is slightly delayed when I'm trying to stream the chat itself. So I might read the message a little earlier than it actually appears on screen, but bear with me. Dishwashers. What else? Anything else? Mixie, grinder, maybe. Mixie, food processor, grinder, which is rather uniquely Indian, I think. Blender, mixer, electric cooker, sure, why not? Cool. Yeah, there are lots and lots more, but for now, I think these are the main ones. But let's just separate them out. But by what is literally run on electricity, as in what is actually an appliance and what are just things that we need that are not connected. So we have the microwave, which is obviously runs on electricity. Chimneys now run on electricity. Shelves not. The hob is the hob or the cooking range. Let's actually call that cooking range, just so it's easier to understand. Stove, right? So that obviously requires gas and things, but the newer ones need electricity as well. The fridge needs electricity. The garbage disposal, for now, as in there are electric versions of this, but we are not considering those for this particular exercise. The water purifier, the dishwasher, the mixie, food processor, grinder, electric cooker, and so on. Right. So, what's a strainer? As in, as an appliance, or just one of those pots? Anyway, so the point I'm trying to make here is that most of the things in your kitchen run on electricity. At least nowadays, at least in our Indian kitchens, most of them, most of these appliances, well, run on electricity, and there are issues that you have when you have electricity and well, water, and when you have curry and things like that all over the place, and you have what's this, a cooking range with lots of gas and gas leakage and things like that. So the point is that kitchens are extremely hazardous, and they have to be designed accordingly. You have to make sure that they all work properly, that they won't short, that they basically you are not setting the entire apartment or whatever on fire. So we have to be careful about a lot of these things. Oh, toasters, juicers, why not? Uh, toaster. Eh, also electric. So just to try the utensils. Yeah, yeah. We'll what's this? Yeah, we should actually write that down. That's a rather important part, thing. Exhaust fans. We are assuming we use a chimney. We won't need an exhaust fan. So let's assume that yeah, we are using a chimney. Then what is the other one? A drying rack, maybe. Just a place where you stack all your utensils immediately after you wash it, such that it drip dries on its own. Right. So yeah. So we have all these different appliances, and like I was saying, we have to make sure that they work properly and not and basically, well, don't die and kill us. So the materials that we use in a kitchen are slightly different, are slightly more robust than the other ones, right? So the main issue with the kitchen and using plywood is what? What do you think the issue with using plywood in a kitchen is? What are the problems that you foresee that you might face? Fire, yes, but the the fire has been the hazards due to fire have been controlled on a large level. Right, we have worked on it in terms of all the different materials and things, but yes, fire is one of the main concerns that we have. For that, like I was saying, we have to make sure that the entire electric system in our kitchen works well, and that there are no short circuits and things like that, and especially things like no plug points near the sink, for instance. That would be rather stupid, no? Other than that, yes. The second point is yes, waterproofing. Waterproofing is is a major concern. It's actually more of a concern than fire is. Insects and cockroaches are all problems that you face because of certain things, which we'll get into. But waterproofing, uh, as in, is a concern because we don't cook without water, right? We have a lot of basically everything we do uses a lot of water, and things like our work counters and things like that. We obviously are going to be chopping vegetables. We're going to be doing a lot of wet things on it, and therefore it has to be robust enough that it can take that amount of water and be easily cleanable. That's another point, because even if you're just toasting bread, right? Yeah, it's all dry. There's no water involved. All good. But after that, you at some point have to clean that particular counter, and for that you might use a wet cloth or something. And if the well, the joinery and things like that are not done properly, you will have water going through and basically rotting everything. Thanks to that, what are the different materials that we use in a kitchen? Stainless steel. Yes, we use stainless steel. I should write that down somewhere. Yes. that's a lot of materials that I missed. Yipes. Okay, so going back, there are stainless steel, which we should write these also. Stainless steel, ceramics, granite, laminates, granite again, black granite, solid acrylic. That's interesting. I'm not writing that down mostly because I don't know how you plan to use it, but MDF, glass, plywood, steel countertop, and workstations. So yeah, so we have all these different materials. Of these, the one thing that we will be using most of, or at least what we are going to be basing this particular thing on, it are the granite, obviously, for our countertops, and plywood. Right, mostly this entire semester we're going to be dealing with a lot of plywood. So what what are the different grades that plywood might be available in? Hardboard. What are the different grades that plastic might be, I mean, that plywood might be available in? I just realized how, as in terms of interaction, this seriously lacks what we have in classes a whole lot better. But we shall go on, we shall soldier on. While you're thinking of what the different grades of plywood are, or literally googling them, I suppose, uh, we'll go through the different well, options that we might have for this particular kitchen. Right, as of now we just assuming there is no window, we'll create one later. But in terms of counters, we can create different shapes. Right, something like that is the maximum, is literally all four walls that have counters. Or we can do a C-shaped thing, which is this. Actually, I should draw this in different colors maybe. This is the full size thing. Then we'll do a blue one for an L-shaped one. No, we'll do a C-shaped one with this. Then different color. Okay, let's do a L-shaped one. Actually, let's do an L-shaped one this way. Right. MR grade, BWR grade, marine ply. One, don't trust Google just because it says something. Google them and look at the sites themselves. Google is not curating this; they're just randomly looking for keywords. So although they might you might find the site, that's about all you can do with Google. So anyway, the grade that we are talking about is what, as Vinayak said, BWR grade, right? So what is BWR stand for? Now, while you're doing that, I'll draw some more counters. Do I have any more colors? Red. Okay. Okay. Kind of crappy, but this also. Okay, in pencil we can even have a island. although I think this is too small for an island. Boiling water resistant, yes. So the idea here is that we are going to be using plywood that is resistant to boiling water. What that means is, even if you have boiling water that falls on it, which is to say very hot water that falls on this particular plywood, it won't warp, it won't split into its separate layers or anything like that. uh, and this kind of plywood is necessary because, yeah, you are going to be dealing with water a lot, and any water that seeps into your into the plywood and things like that shouldn't completely, well, destroy it. Thanks to that, we have this particular grade that we're using, all right? BWR grade, remember that. Actually, we should write that down somewhere. I just realized we can't keep writing stuff on this tiny little piece of paper, but we shall soldier on as usual. BWR grade, right? So yeah, so we have the BWR grade plywood that we're using for this particular thing. Now we'll move on to the different counter shapes that as I was drawing them earlier. You have things like the orange colored C. We have the red colored two side thing. This is also called a galley kitchen. You have an island counter in the center if you'd like. You can have the green colored L-shaped thing. So you just have the two sides. You have the, what are the other ones? The C shaped. I drew the C and I don't know which color. But yeah, so these are all different shapes of counters that you can use in a kitchen like this. Now the reason I threw away most of the other plans, or discarded as in those plans, were mostly because of this. It does not give us too many options. Just going back to that for a second, yeah, in this particular kitchen, right, all you can do is put the counter there and possibly put the counter there, but then it's too narrow. If it is 7 feet and 3 inches or whatever, the space between here and here is too narrow for another full counter to fit there. A fridge also is not, as in it's not in the best position possible, but at least it's only a fridge. And you'll notice that this utility, we'll speak about utilities and things like that later, but I don't think it's a good idea here, right? So in this thing, maybe you, as in you could have tried putting an L thing, but that also won't fit. So literally, this is the only way this particular kitchen can function, which I think is bad design. Uh, Similarly, this is the same kitchen. Um, where is this one's kitchen? Yeah. Similarly, with this particular kitchen, again, this is literally the only shape possible. You have to put the counter on that side and this side. You can't connect the two counters because obviously you need space to go to the utility. And yeah, the fridge has to go inside one of these spaces, so the counter has to be cut there. Literally nothing else that you can do. Possibly take off the puja, put the fridge there. That's about it. Yeah. Again, utility. Another. I'll explain why this is a bad idea in a bit. But yeah, so while looking at these plans, I'm looking at kitchens that can be possibly arranged in different manners, where the the interior designer or whoever has some options of where they can put the counters in. Right now, the architect who designed the apartment literally designed the kitchen, and there's no way you can change it except for maybe move the thing up and down a little here and there, but that's about it, right? So these are the issues with these with the kitchen, which is why I chose this one, and even chose this one and then decided to well, eliminate the kitchen and use the bedroom instead. So yeah, with these counters and everything, obviously, what is a material that we use going to use for the counter? We're going to use granite. We'll be using stainless steel for sinks and things like that, so stuff we buy. Ceramics, mostly tiles, dado, D-A-D-E, I should write that properly. Dados, laminates obviously on top of the plywood as cabinets and things like that everywhere, right? The glass can also be in front of the plywood as part of your cabinet detail and stuff like that. But other than that, you don't really use glass too much either. So, oh wait, yipes. I was writing a lot and didn't show you the camera. Alright. So I was. I was trying to say that, yeah, stainless steel, uh, we use them for the sinks. Ceramics, we use them for tiles and dado. E L. Yipes. L. Is this annoying or no? Tiles, dado, granite we use for all the counters. Laminates go on top of the plywood, and the plywood, well, is used everywhere. Right? So, uh, the next thing that we have to deal with are basically how is a kitchen actually constructed. We just basically looked at the shapes of the counters. So let's start. Can you people hear me around? What happened? Is anyone here? Works? Can you see everything as well? Can you hear me? Can you see? As of now, there's a picture that hasn't been updated in a while. Hello. Disturbed signal. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about it. Now it updates. Okay, I think I'll start kitchens tomorrow again. But yeah, I've realized that this interactive asking you questions and things like that, I don't know how well that works. So I'll rethink those things. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully the internet will sort itself out. I'll see if there was any issue on my end and figure it out. So I'm pretty sure that you can't hear the stuff that I'm saying, but just in case you can.